By all accounts, the first couple of seasons of Umbrella Academy were spectacular. Showrunner Steve Blackman had successfully adapted a long-running comic book series, brought it to the small screen, and had a verifiable hit on his hands. Now that we're a couple years removed from the conclusion of the show, and oh, lo and behold, there are some complainers that are out there. So Umbrella Academy showrunner accused of toxic, bullying, manipulative, and retaliatory behavior. Oh my god, 12 staffers and an HR complaint. A singular HR complaint obtained by, Rolling Stone. Oh great, this is going to be fantastic, huh? Months before the Umbrella Academy's premiere in February of 2019, showrunner Steve Blackman knew he delivered Netflix a hit series. 45 million households would tune in for the first season. Well, can you verify that? That's whatever. Making it Netflix's third most watched television series that year, behind Stranger Things and The Witcher. Man, was that when the first season of Stranger Things and The Witcher came out, or was that season 2 or something of Stranger Things? I know the production cycle on that has been sketchier than a Jackson Pollock painting, but okay. Anticipating a quick green light for season 2, he began interviewing new writers. The job candidate included a female writing team. Oh, yeah, okay, now I can see why everything fell off a cliff so quickly. Writers who split one salary as a package deal. No, you probably have an allotment for writers, and then they ended up splitting that up. Let's get that clear. Blackman interviewed the two women, one of whom was pregnant and in her third trimester. Okay, then what are you applying for jobs for? Okay, like, what the hell, man? You're obviously not fit for the position. In person at his office at Netflix's studio lot in Los Angeles. He later offered them a place in the writer's room as a standard 20-week contract. After accepting the job, the pregnant writer informed Blackman she'd be taking maternity leave about 1 month in. Yeah, okay, that right there, that's just selfish. Okay. While her writing partner would continue working. So yeah, why did she think that she would get paid then? It's like you're on a temp job. Benefits aren't going to kick in. The new mother returned from leave a month before her contract ended, and when the writer's room was extended another 10 weeks so the team could finish the season. Everyone had their contracts extended according to the show, except for the female writing team. Well, I mean, if you can't perform the job, why are you getting an extension? This is toxic. Okay. Blackman allegedly blamed their exit on budget issues and wanting a more experienced writer to replace the duo. Well, there you go. According to a January 2023 human resource complaint filed to Universal Content Production, the NBC-owned production company behind the Umbrella Academy, Blackman had repeatedly grumbled to others that he felt ripped off. Well, I mean, come on. Complaining he didn't know the woman was pregnant when he hired her. Shouldn't she disclose that, she'd be needing some time off in the very near future? He told, complaining, he didn't know he was pregnant. He told me fired them because one was pregnant and didn't tell them, an anonymous source said, right? Yeah, one writer from that season tells Rolling Stone. Yeah, so you have aggrieved people complaining that they were no longer attached to the successful show. Big shock, right? Other sources say they heard Blackman make similar remarks. Oh yeah, he made similar remarks. Couldn't back up those claims, but I heard him make other claims. Right. It wasn't the only time people exited the Umbrella Academy. Well, yeah, okay. Which returns for its fourth and final season, August 8th. I thought it was already wrapped up. Okay, under dubious circumstances, sources claim, including a support staffer who had declined to tell Blackman details of a private conversation, and a personal assistant who accidentally received Blackman's prescription information. That's kind of disgusting, but no, we don't need to get into any of that stuff. Obviously, Steve Blackman, not the cool WWF European champion, okay, or as more well known as a hardcore champion, but whatever. Okay, the Lethal Weapon is getting preemptively canceled because we've seen what happened with season 3. Okay, the show precipitously fell off a cliff because one of its lead actors, ended up making some personal decisions that probably didn't involve the input of Shane Blackman, probably ended up catching him a bit off guard when you're writing a part for an Ellen and then an Elliot turns up on shoot. Yeah, you're going to be a bit perplexed, okay? If you thought you had writer's problems to begin with, let's just go ahead and compound those. So, Umbrella Academy showrunner accused of transphobic response to Elliot Page transition. Yeah, his response, kill me now. Yeah, I mean, that fundamentally changes your show. Like, what did you expect? Netflix's hit series, The Umbrella Academy, is gearing up for its fourth and final season, but ahead of its premiere, the show is getting some unwanted exposure after a series of accusations against showrunner Steve Blackman. And among them is the allegation that Blackman wasn't on board with Elliot Page transitioning on the show. Well, yeah, of course. And it's so funny, right? Ever since Elliot Page became Elliot Page, that's the only thing that Elliot Page has to talk about. I look at my book, it's all about my gender experience. Oh, let me make these ludicrous statements about certain government policies because of my gender experience. Oh, the show that I'm on has tanked in the ratings, and the showrunner was mean to me because of my gender experience. Per Rolling Stone, the Umbrella Academy showrunner wasn't a fan of Page's characters coming out as trans, but he has his own version of the story. The Umbrella Academy, Page initially played a character named Vanya, who is referred to as female. It was a female. In the third season, as he publicly transitioned, the character also came out as trans, yes, going by Victor. By the people who were watching the show at the time, or at least the premiere, to just see how are you gonna handle the new Elliot Page showing up. Oh yeah, hey everybody, look at it's Vanya, it's Victor. All right, cool, fantastic, and then just move on. Yeah, but initially the idea was to use Ivan, which is short for Page's original character. God, what a narcissist, man. Everything needs to be all about you, huh? In a text message provided to HR in the complaint in January of 2023, he wrote, Elliot wants to come out as trans on the show as Ivan. Oh my effing God, kill me now. Blackman responded to the claims as his complaint was about the incoming workload, as the season had already been written, and which would have meant many rewrites to reflect the change. And wow, imagine that. That entire Rolling Stone article is all couched in problems with writers, and here we have a textbook example of something that would end up causing an untold amount of extra effort, additional budget that clearly he's responsible for maintaining. Jesus. Faced with the tremendous undertaking, a complete rewrite under a wildly compressed timeline, and the responsibility to handle this with sensitivity and care, Mr. Blackman commented on the stress levels related to this and other responsibilities of managing a show and a large team. A rep for Blackman said. Elliot Page praised Blackman's support previously. Oh, but now that the series is coming to an end and you aren't lining up any additional acting gigs, shock on that one, it was just a temporary popularity boost. Now you got to try to rattle the cup around in order to secure one final payday, huh? Noting to Time 100 that, if anything, Blackman was one who was very insistent on immediately having it be a part of the show and supported me to be able to access the care I was hoping to get at that time. Unbelievable narcissist, man. Blackman addressed the change in an interview with TV Line, noting, we wanted to tell a story that was really pro-trans, authentic, sensitive, and shows that families can accept trans people in their lives, and it does not have to be a negative thing, as it's often portrayed in the media. I mean, like, statistics are really negative, I guess, when you talk about that issue. In an expose, the source claimed the showrunner would often make homophobic and transphobic jokes. Oh, he found it very funny, like the butt of the joke. Well, yeah, of course. He could be very good at dropping something that starts to be transphobic or homophobic, like he, she. Okay, second staffer says, but then he'll say, oh, it's all good, I support it, it's awesome, live your best life, yo. So he's a regular individual who's trying not to have their show completely tanked, but then at the same time wants to point out the absurdity. That's like, why is Juno rocking piece of forearm skin between their legs? What's going on here? He toes the line of seeing who will join in and laugh with him, and then, if nobody does, really skillfully backpedals. I mean, starting to like this guy a lot, aside from the alleged transphobic remarks. But what remarks? By saying he, she, and then when people scoff, he can just go ahead and lay in with something that's a little bit more appropriate for the room. I'm not really see the transphobic comments here. Umbrella Academy showrunner Steve Blackman has been accused of toxic behavior on set. Unbelievable. The reports include allegations of dozens of former writers and staffers of the Netflix show, most of whom asked to stay anonymous. Yes, they're so steadfast in their convictions that they just don't want to be named because it's scary, right? However, Blackman denied all the claims. Blackman's rep, as well as 3 other sources who worked closely with him, refused the allegations over alleged toxic behavior over 6 years and 4 seasons, overseeing thousands of crew, actors, and writers, Steve Blackman led the Umbrella Academy to become a beloved series with devoted fans, enthralling stories, and a dedicated team at making it all possible. These allegations from a handful of disgruntled employees are completely false and outrageous, and there's no way to inflect the collaborative, respectful, and successful working environment Mr. Blackman has cultivated. Well, yeah, of course, but hey, if your entire life is now been dedicated to just your own self-imposed victimhood, of course, when everything looks like a problem, you're going to take issue with it. When you're walking around with an artificial hammer, everything's going to look like a nail. So yeah, and it looks like we got some activists over there at Netflix. Big shock on that one. But I think the only other bigger shock is if Elliot Page gets another Hollywood gig before they need to come out as something new and trendy. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.